Every major ancient civilization told the exact same story. Powerful beings came from the sky and taught humanity, and then they left, suddenly, as if something forced them. The Sumerian texts describe why. And the answer is stranger than any theory you have heard before. The Anunnaki appear here. The word means those of royal blood. They appear in the Epic of Gilgamesh and hundreds of clay tablets dating back millennia. They are the pantheon of Sumerian deities. Their leader was Anu, god of heavens. His sons, Enlil and Enki, divided the world. Standard mythology. But in 1976, Zecharia Sitchin published a book that reinterpreted these same texts in a radically different, controversial way. Sitchin argued they were extraterrestrials from a planet called Nibiru, returning every 3,600 years on a long elliptical orbit near Earth. They came for resources and genetically engineered humans as a labor force. When their mission was complete, they simply left. Mainstream scholars like Dr. Michael Heiser reject this. They say Sitchin's word interpretations have no basis in actual ancient Sumerian grammar. But even without Sitchin, the texts describe something unusual. The Sumerian king list records rulers reigning for tens of thousands of years. Before the flood, reigns were long. After the flood, they suddenly shortened to a human scale. A clear break in history. The Enuma Elish describes a cosmic war, the Anunnaki fighting among themselves, dividing territories and assigning specific lands to specific divine beings. The Atrahasis epic says the Anunnaki created humans because they were tired of labor, they bore drudgery and wanted a replacement. Then there are the lament texts. They describe the abandonment of cities, not by humans but by the gods themselves in systematic departure. Its queen, like a bird, has flown from her city. Ningal has flown. This wasn't just one city, but many. Scholars say this describes political collapse, the fall of Ur to the Elamites. Divine abandonment was just a literary device for catastrophe. This is plausible. But researchers point to a pattern beyond Mesopotamia. The departure of powerful beings is a global theme in texts. In Hindu tradition, the Devas withdrew during the transition to the Kali Yuga, the current age of diminished divine presence on Earth. In Mesoamerica, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who brought civilization, left across the sea, promising he would return one day in the future. In Egypt, the age of the Neteru ended abruptly. The Turin king list records divine rulers, then a sudden, clear break. Same structure, different cultures, separated by oceans. Why did every civilization record the exact same sequence of events and divine withdrawal? Dr. Roel Sturks notes that the withdrawal of the divine is a universal theme. Civilizations simply internalized authority as they matured. It's a psychological and sociological process, not a physical event. Gods moved from external actors to internal moral frameworks within our minds. That's one answer. The other, suggested by the texts, is that something changed, something that made their continued presence on Earth completely untenable. The Atrahasis epic describes the gods arguing. Some wanted to help humanity. Others, like Enlil, wanted the flood to erase our species. Enki repeatedly intervenes to save us. This conflict was not metaphorical. It is described in specific terms, with very specific documented outcomes. What were they afraid of? What were they running from? Or what were they leaving behind? The ancient texts don't give a final answer, but they ask the question clearly. The Anunnaki appear in thousands of tablets, the largest collection of writing from any single ancient civilization. Their departure is documented across multiple cultures, on multiple continents, within overlapping time periods. This consistency is hard for science to ignore. Academic scholarship has coherent explanations. Yet, The mathematical sophistication of this civilization generates questions that standard answers don't fully resolve. Sitchin was not a credentialed scholar. His translations have been challenged and largely refuted by experts in the field of linguistics. But the texts he was trying to interpret are real. They describe beings of extraordinary power who came, taught, conflicted, and left. Who were the Anunnaki? What made them leave? These questions remain written in clay that has survived for over 6,000 years. The tablets are still being translated. The final answer may already exist, hidden in a museum archive, waiting for someone to read it correctly. What do you think they were? Tell us your theories in the comments. We want to hear your perspective on this ancient mystery. Subscribe to Beyond Explained. New mysteries every single week. Join us next time as we explore the unknown.